A nefarious government plot to store our nation's silver supply in our mouths. Children, I implore you, rip out your fillings. This is 24-hour Gribble Talk, serving the entire Tri-House area.
It's the 24-hour Gribble Talk podcast hosted by me, Dylan, and my wonderful girlfriend, Kaleigh. Here we are. So what episode are we doing this time?
This episode is Season 3, Episode 2, and they call it Bobby Love.
Bobby Love.
Hey, kid, where's your hall pass?
You got me. My name is Ramon Tavares. I'm in Mr. Powell's class.
Ramon Tavares? Then why does your lunch bag say Bobby Hill?
Because we can't spell Ramon. What did I say?
All right, get going, Ramon. Bobby Hill?
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
So I feel right off the bat, something I think about this episode is she doesn't come off as somebody who would be a hall monitor, really.
Yeah.
She plays like not a bad girl character, but a little bit of a troublemaker. So you wouldn't think that she would be a hall monitor in school. Really,
the
those
one
are
who does the
usually,
discipline.
Yeah, those are usually the dorkier, the more involved kids. Now
The
she
goody
could be.
two-shoes.
Yeah. And then they have the hall monitor later. Something I always missed. Did you just hear that? I don't have to go back on that. This is the first time I've ever heard it. As many times I hear it, but Boomhauer says something about a toothbrush up the butt here.
Like that fellow did a toothbrush up that man's bottom, man. That's true, too, man. Happened to me. Oh!
What does
I
that
never
mean?
know. I don't quite get the gist of the story there, but I've seen the episode 20 times, I'd say, and it's the first time I've ever noticed that. It's one of the things I love about King of the Hill.
Probably had a coffee table.
That's a good spot there. Hank, taxpayer.
I was going to say that Hank doesn't ever want to say that they drink in the alley. He tries to dodge the question.
You think? You think
Yeah.
he's a closet alcoholic?
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Sports, mostly.
Anybody can sympathize with the being on the phone with the bureaucrat trying to get something done, trying to get them to do their job.
Yeah.
We can all sympathize with that.
This is my favorite part. What are you talking about?
I think that's a reference to something, but I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's not.
They say it toward the end.
Of what that joke's a reference to?
Well, he said it's like the favorite comedian. But I don't know what comedian.
Really?
Drinking beer, sitting on the couch outside.
Boomhauer's always slick, distracting Hank to sit down.
Hank always falls for it, though.
I'm not sure what the Lucky Pierre reference Boomhauer makes is there. There's gotta be something I'm missing there. I don't know if it means the last man out or odd man out or something. You ever heard that?
No, I have not heard it.
Dang Lucky Pierre, man.
Come on, Hank.
This part right here, he doesn't know that they're asking for his son because I don't think anybody ever calls for him except for Joseph.
Yeah, that's kind of the humor. Bobby's not popular with the girls. Although, later in the episode, they really make him like, he plays both characters. Sometimes he's popular with girls, and sometimes he's kind of not at all. He's
Yeah.
like a dorky. Like, there's the one where the girls take advantage of him. There's like two of them. I can't think of the full plot at the moment, but there's the two older girls and then he ends up like saving them at the football stadium at the end, you know. Not sure on that.
Yeah, no, not. This is funny because they try and take care of the couch like it's a car.
Yeah, that's the classic King of the Hill type humor. Just like when Hank spun the story in the last episode to be a football story, they're working on the couch like working on a car because It's the only way they know how to do the stuff.
And they acted like they didn't know what to do around the couch until they all sat on it.
I like the look on Bobby's face when Marie's trying to explain what a vegetarian is to Bobby.
Yeah.
It's coming up here. It's kind of like she's trying to explain what quantum physics is.
Bacon doesn't have a head on it.
Well, I'm a vegetarian, Bobby. I don't eat meat.
My dad says if God didn't want us to eat meat, he wouldn't have invented steak sauce.
Your dad says that?
Once.
Bobby, did you know that the average person consumes 500 chickens?
This is a pretty gross sounding kiss, too.
Yeah, I know.
They give quite a sound effect on this.
And Bobby thinks they're in love after one kiss.
You can understand, though, that feeling of their very first kiss and relationship.
He kind of looked like a sad dog at the end.
I think that's a funny name for Peggy to give to Hank, Sweet Meat.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awfully dirty name, and I think they could have made a really funny joke if they would have just had like Hank make a really shocked face at the nickname or being like, "Boy." I think it could have been even really just a shocked face could have been a subtle punchline, because it's kind of hard with Hank being the uptight prude character that he is.
He doesn't like the affectionate side.
Being so comfortable with his wife calling him Sweet Meat in front of their son. Given his general prudeness and all.
Bobby has a girlfriend? All right, son. She's real, right? I mean, she's not imaginary or on a cereal box or anything, is she?
That's a nice nightgown Bill's got, too. Reminds me of when he was wearing Lenore's dresses later.
Yeah.
It's almost like a precursor to that. Like, who sleeps with a
With a nightgown, yeah.
Man.
What man actually sleeps in a nightgown?
Yeah, they just subtly drop that in there.
I like when they show the people in his glasses.
Go to hell. Now, something that I think's interesting. In the first episodes, Bobby starts out, they show that he's 11. They talk about it. And here they mention that he's 12. So by season 3, he's 12. And then by the end of the show, he's only 13. So basically, seasons 3 through 13, I think it ends, all take place within the course of 1 year if you base it off of that time, which isn't really impossible because the characters don't age, but just a little interesting tidbit if you go by exactly the way the age plays out in the show.
I never noticed that.
No. I saw when they've talked about bringing the show back, the creator of it, he's expressed that he wants to, if they bring it back, to maybe make the characters a little bit older, like age them up in the series.
That'd be good because they never do that for any of the new seasons that come back, for any of the cartoons.
Yeah. I feel like only the younger ones would change a lot, though. I mean, how much
older can an older person get?
How much is Hank going to change in 10 years? Yeah, or, I mean, he may be a little grayer or things like that, but Hank, Peggy.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea, though, definitely, because, yeah, it's not something that's ever done.
Back to the one point of that phone call, why is he always recording?
Because he's Dale. It's the Dale Gribble. He's got to be recording his phone calls. I record mine.
He gets scared of the government that much?
I'd be curious to know how many times you see Hank and Peggy kiss on screen in the whole series. They mention it a few times in here, how often or how little they kiss.
I only saw it once.
Well, in this episode, I think it's once, but I mean throughout the series.
Oh.
It's not often.
That'd be a good game to do throughout our podcast.
Yeah, we'll have to notice.
There it is. I knew this was too good to be true.
So, she's a vegetarian. She still likes lots of things I like kissing, for instance.
Oh, my word. Hank, talk to the boy.
Bobby, vegetarians can't be trusted. Just last week, we caught one of them siphoning gas out of a company truck.
Hank is so scared to show Peggy affection in front of anybody. He always says, save it for the bedroom.
Even in private. I feel like that's another spot they could have got a good punchline out of Hank when Peggy says, we've done things you can't even imagine. Like,
yeah.
The character that Hank is so conservative and prude, and the way Peggy just blurts out basically their sex life to Bobby when he's 12 and he just says, Peggy, with some big bulging Hank eyes or something would be good in there. Peggy's nails are gross too in this scene. They're like witch nails.
I know.
That would drive me nuts. I wouldn't want to hold that hand either.
Like, at what point does Hank not want to show, like, his real love instead of the tough love that he always shows? Because he always shows more tough love than affectionate, like, soft kind of loving character.
Yeah, that's definitely the character he is. But he has some softer moments throughout the series. We saw the one with Bobby in the last one. We'll see him as we go. Not so much in this episode. They're kind of moving the series away from the death of Buckley and stuff. I think you could make the case that this is, if you pause this scene, this is like the epitome of King of the Hill. This is kind of, because I think in the first few seasons, they kind of were making fun of the characters. And in this season, they really started to embrace the love of the characters, and they got the redneck creativity. They got the awning strapped to it.
I was thinking it kind of looked like a camper.
Yeah, they're rolling out the couch.
Like a secret camper with the awning.
Yeah, you get a real sense of community, how much they all really like to, work on a project together.
Dude, my old couch.
We're not falling for it, Con. This was not yours.
I get rid of it after the neighborhood cat come inside and pee all over it.
It's kind of interesting to me you often see like the older boy and the younger girl in like sitcoms or in TV shows when they're trying to portray a message or something, and this one goes the opposite way. They do it a few times. I know they do it later.
Is Connie older than Bobby or younger?
I think they're about the same age. But do you think Marie's like taking advantage of Bobby, or do you think she genuinely likes him and it just figures out that it doesn't work?
No, I think she's taking advantage of him, but I'll get more toward that in the end.
Do you?
Yeah.
It seemed to me that she genuinely has some, or at least I think she likes him. She just doesn't realize she doesn't like him as much as Bobby does. It's his first relationship at all, and all the feelings.
Kind of embarrasses her at this point.
Look, if the lady doesn't want to dance, don't make her dance.
Hey, come on, kid. Move out of the way.
Bobby, move.
You can really relate to the sadness Bobby's feeling, though. Like the character, how, first relationships pretty much always end bad when you're 12.
True.
You can see how upset it makes him. And
I don't think at 12, I think it's mostly the guys that break up with the girls, so...
Yeah, that's why it's kind of an interesting take, yeah. But I guess they never technically were dating.
Right.
See, there you can kind of see she has some feeling for him, even when she's leaving him.
There's that reference again to what are you talking about?
Yeah, they use it all through King of the Hill. I'm not sure if it's real or if it came from King of the Hill. I'd almost say it came from something else. I know someone out there knows. I like how Hank thinks that when Bobby's upset, he automatically assumes that Bobby got beat up.
I know.
And you can really see Peggy I think Peggy's probably the character they make the biggest